the people that joined the call here. So you can go back, refer to it, and get an opportunity to take some additional notes if I talk too fast. Sometimes I get a little excited. So I'm definitely excited to be here. I see we've got people from all over. I'm gonna look at this chat one more time. We've got people from all over the country. I think we got a couple of people coming in from Africa as well. We've got CEOs on this call. We've got pastors on this call. You know, we've got all kind of different people just to experience a change, get some additional information. And what's great about you is that you're a person that's always seeking knowledge. And I learned from a great man a long time ago, if you're not seeking knowledge and becoming better, you're dying. The best way to live is to continue to grow, and the best way to grow is to continue to learn. I know many of us have heard people say that they're stuck in their ways, right? Most of the time they get stuck in their ways, and then what happens is their ways start eating at them, start coursing at their veins, and it causes sickness, it causes, death in the marrow and the bones. But you're here because you want to have some additional knowledge and be able to grow farther than where you are. So I'm not going to hold you too long. We're going to go ahead and hop right to it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Excellent, excellent. Can everybody see that? Put it in the chat. Can everybody see my screen? Can everybody hear me okay? Outstanding, outstanding. Well, welcome to your masterclass. This is called The Recipe. Achieve anything and live life on purpose. I am Coach Dre Blas, Chef Aundre Blasingame, and I'm excited to meet you here on this Zoom for this masterclass. In the next 45 minutes, you will discover how to achieve anything and live a purpose-driven life without compromising your time, health, and money. So stay tuned to the end because you're going to hear about a special offer and some bonuses that I'm going to throw in because you attended today. Now, let me ask you guys a few questions. How many of you here are a leader looking to achieve more out of life? Now, you can put your hand up in the chat. You can say, yes, I am, et cetera, et cetera. Excellent. I see people raising their hand. Fantastic. Yeah, this is going to be interactive. So, pay attention, get your notes out. If you take notes on your tablet, use your tablet, get a pen and paper, because we're going to get into this information. Excellent, excellent. So how many of you here, because you're here because you want to learn to inspire others by knowing your purpose and becoming a person of influence? I'm going to raise my hand. That's one of the reasons why I joined master classes and learned from all the greats like Les Brown and Eric Thomas, because I want to be a person of influence. Are you somebody that wants to be a person of influence? Outstanding. Man, if your video is showing, raise your hand on the video. Give you a shout out. I see Dennis Watson in there looking all dapper. Excellent, excellent. Perfect. Because see, this masterclass is for you. The principles that I'm going to share with you today are something you can immediately implement to make a big difference in your career, your business, or even in your life. But before anything else, I'd like to thank you once again for investing your time with me, but for you and your personal growth today. And I promise that I will do everything in my power to make this masterclass worth your time. So just to set your expectations, this masterclass and the principles I'm going to share with you today are not just something that I've implemented with my clients in the last few years, but also something I've implemented for myself. I definitely practice what I preach. And since we will be spending, 45 minutes together, I'd like just to introduce myself really quick. Is that okay with everybody? Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, and don't forget, at the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a special offer and a bonus. You got to be watching live in order to get it. So stick around, and I promise it'll be worth your time. And I know there's distractions all around us, so take some time, be focused. I know some of you are at work, independent business owners, entrepreneurs, multiple business owners, CEOs, but just make a commitment to yourself to stay focused. Can we do that? Close out some of your social media. Don't check your email. Let's get focused, and I promise I'll make it worth your time. All right? Excellent. So let's get into a little about me. I'm your chef motivator for today. Again, Chef Dre Blas, Coach Aundre Blasingame. Now, I have about 25 years, 26 years now of experience in the hospitality industry as a chef, as a coach, speaker, owner, and an entrepreneur, right? I am chef owner of Heavenly Catering International, located in Dallas, Texas. If you need any catering, we do catering nationwide, but if you're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, heavenlycateringdfw.com is our website. You can go check out some of our pictures, some of the background, and the different things that we have done here. I am a certified coach with extreme execution. So if you know anything about extreme execution, that's Eric Thomas's platform. If you know Dr. Eric Thomas, you know he is the hip hop preacher, as he's called. And being the hip hop preacher, you know, it carries a lot of weight in what he does. And he is actually mentoring me in building to help build and help millions other people to come out of their cocoon. Because see, you have a voice and your voice needs to be heard. So in addition to that, I started my career in the food industry. I was 16 years old. I started at a sandwich shop called Yeo Sandwich Shop. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. You know, the Derby City, you know, the horses, plenty of bourbon. Y'all know how that goes, right? So in Kentucky, I worked at the Yeo Sandwich Shop and I learned to bake bread. And that's where my love began for the hospitality industry. Went to the University of Houston for hotel and restaurant management, Le Cordon Bleu to get my culinary degree. And one of my first jobs coming out of there, I was a sous chef at Walt Disney World, Grand Floridian Resort. Now, if you know anything about Disney, it stays busy year round. It was busy during COVID. I find that astonishing, but it was. And so I got a chance to cut my teeth there, and I learned a lot of interpersonal and people skills because we did a lot of covers in the day. Anybody in the restaurant industry or see any restaurant movies with the tickets keep coming out, just imagine if it goes nonstop for a straight 8-hour shift. Oh my God. But it gave me a lot of real world understanding of how the hospitality industry works. I was also an executive chef for Dr. Pepper Carrot, American Airlines, Aramark. And in addition to that, you know, I'm a competition chef. So if you've ever heard of the World Food Championships, I've had an opportunity to be in that competition twice as a World Food Champ and also a Texas Super Chef, which is a Texas-run competition to qualify for the World Food Championships. Shout out to the World Food Championships. They're currently here in Dallas. So if you guys got some time in November, look that up, worldfoodchampionship.com. You get an opportunity to see that. I'm also the CEO of a nonprofit called SOAR Hospitality and Travel. Now, SOAR Hospitality and Travel was based on an idea when I was in high school. I was part of a hospitality and travel and tourism program with a couple of other people, and its founder, Rosie, decided when we got older, we were going to pay it forward, right? We were going to give it back. So we restarted the program in New Jersey, and we've actually just launched a pilot class for some 8th and 9th graders, teaching them business and entrepreneurship. So you can check that out on letssoarnj.org. Also president of Old School to New School, we help foster kids that are phasing out of foster care that didn't get adopted at 18 to help find them housing. Also, in addition to get employment and also education so they can be very productive in society. And then last, board chair of BCA Global, where we talk about race, food, and social justice. This one is really near and dear to my heart because we take the philosophy from Martin Luther King on mindful eating for the beloved community. It's not just the food that you consume, it's also the food that you put into your mind. And I've been featured on some networks and some paper articles and some interviews and things like that. So just to give you a little history of myself and tell you a little story about me being a father and pursuing the dream of entrepreneurship, having 5 kids, 4 girls and 1 boy. Boy, I tell you, it was an uphill climb, and I tell you, it was definitely worth getting that accomplished. So that's just a little bit about me. So we're going to hop into the information for today. So as you know, it's called the recipe. So these are the ingredients, creating your super dish. Now, the super dish is in reference to a DISC assessment. And if you know anything about a DISC assessment, it helps you unlock who you are, your personality, and how you interact with others. So it helps unlock your potential. And these ingredients is going to help you navigate through relationships, business, and life. And this is where achieving anything begins. So we're going to give you the ground floor basis of finding the ingredients for your dish here today. All right. And you can see everything's going to be themed around food because I am a chef. Outstanding. So we're going to discuss 4 principles today. Most recipes, if you ever look at a recipe, it always tells you at the top how long it's going to prepare and how much it makes it for. So for here, it's going to take years to master this, but it's going to give you success in all areas. So we're going to discuss 4 principles I use daily and teach others to implement right now. I don't just tell it, I live it, right? So, and we're going to dispel some myths. So principle 1, discipline. A myth in discipline is that it's difficult to achieve because I'm set in my ways. See, you don't have to take that. You can achieve discipline in every area of life. It's a choice. That's one thing about life. It's all about choice. Myth number 2, consistency is not much about what we do. False. It's exactly what you choose to do. It leads to having effectiveness. Myth about knowledge. Knowledge is power. I'm going to dispel that. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is where the true strength lies. You can have all the information in the world. If you don't apply it, the power is not there. It's just in your mind. And then the last one, they say skill can be taught. Skill has to be applied. And we're going to dig deep into that with the recipe. So we're going to step right into class. All right. So this first one, everybody should be familiar with Morgan Freeman. I always like to use him because he's like the most popular person to play the supreme deity in movies, it seems like. So he talks about discipline being self-control. Self-control is strength. Calmness is mastery. You have to get to a point where your mood doesn't shift based on the insignificant actions of someone else. Don't allow others to control the direction of your life. Don't allow your emotions to overpower your intelligence. And see, discipline being the practice of training people to follow a code of behavior and learn to not fall away from it, a routine that rarely changes, right? So many of us are disciplined in certain things, especially in things that we really enjoy, especially in things that we do on a regular basis that is now muscle memory. I always like to use the example of brushing your teeth. You don't really have to be told to brush your teeth in the morning or brush your teeth after meals or even floss when you've got food stuck in between your teeth. And applying that discipline on a regular basis usually keeps you out of the dentist chair regularly. You can just do your regular visits once or twice a year. Keeps your cavities down, keeps your teeth looking white. And you do that because it's a discipline. So I want you to think about what you're not disciplined in life and write that down. Put it in your notes. Add about 2 or 3 things in there that you know you can become more disciplined in and take that to another level. Why am I not disciplined in this? What struggles do I have in being disciplined in this area? It could be keeping relationships. It could be in your marriage. It could be in your business, right? It could be your relationship with your children. You could be holding on to a lot of different things. So write down a few of those just for you. Don't put them in the chat. It's just for you. Some areas that you could work on in discipline. And so the next principle, of course, is consistency. They say consistency is better than a rare moment of greatness, right? Consistency is defined, conformity in the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness, right? Consistency breeds the change that you need. First, you start with the discipline to be able to accomplish anything, achieve anything in life, and live on purpose. But then you have to implement being consistent at it. So you can be disciplined and brush your teeth 3 times a day today. That makes it a discipline. But if you don't do it tomorrow, it doesn't breed the consistency. Another definition is the way that they put it in Webster. It says a substance, typically a liquid, that holds together thickness or viscosity. So I'm here to ask you, what's your viscosity? What holds you together? What is the glue and the meld that continues for you to do what you do day in, day out on a consistent basis? Whether it's good and positive or whether it's on the negative side, because we all have things we do consistently that's negative. We all do. You know, I know some people that don't use their turn signals when they get over in the lane. That's a negative consistency, right? The people that roll through stop signs and cause accidents, those are consistencies. But then you have the consistent people like Warren Buffett, who still gets up at almost 90 years old, 90 plus now, and reads the paper for his craft 6 hours a day from 6 a.m. to noon. He breed that consistency. That's why he's worth, 86, $89 million. Same thing with Robert Smith. He is consistent. He gets up at 5:45 every morning and he follows the tech industry the rest of his day. $6 billion man. They say doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is insanity. The key phrase is different result. Because consistency over and over again, you're going to get the same result, whether it's good or bad. So take some time today, write down some things that you're consistent in on the bad and consistent in on the great, and figure out how you can minimize the consistency in the negative areas. And I like to talk to people about food because it's usually one of the biggest things, some of the things that you can give up for your health, right? Because health and wealth is the freedom of our people. And who are my people? That's you that's tuned in right now. All right? So right now, some of the areas you are inconsistent in. And the next one is my personal favorite. Knowledge applied. Albert Einstein puts it like this: the only source of knowledge is experience, right? So if the only source of knowledge is experience, we go to all these schools and get these degrees and we read all these books and we follow all these different people. If the experience is where the source of the knowledge is, that means we've got to apply it, right? Knowledge is only power when applied, right? I give you a brief story. I enjoy math, right? I've always enjoyed math, even as a kid. Numbers make sense to me. I can do calculus. I can do trigonometry, but I don't use any of that. So does that really make me powerful? Does that really give me the power that I need in knowledge? Because I know how to do it, but I honestly have not used it since I was in college. Culinary industry didn't really, need it. Now, if I was a rocket scientist or making rocket fuel, probably would need that. But if you don't apply it, then you don't have the power. The power comes in the application. See, facts, information, skills acquired by a person through experience or education, awareness or familiarity gained by experience of a fact or situation is the textbook definition of knowledge. So what knowledge do you have inside your mind from your background, from what you've learned over years and in your life that you have not been applying for someone else? See, your voice is the success for someone else. Somebody told me that a few years ago, around 2017, and I didn't accept it at the time because the first thing I thought, who really wants to hear from a kid that grew up, pretty poor in Louisville, Kentucky? It didn't have a lot growing up. Lost his mother at 10 years old, was living with his father who was king bachelor, right? How is my story going to help or affect someone? And he told me, and said, you haven't told it to know. And see, you have that knowledge of your story. You may not be able to affect the world, but you can affect the 5 people that's in your circle. Knowledge applied, that's where the true power is. Oh, and this is one of my favorite ones. And as you can see, I've got my hometown favorite, Muhammad Ali. I was fortunate. I grew up maybe about 3 or 4 miles from his mother's house for a short period of time. So when I was growing up, I did get to see him, come in and out. And, he drives in and he waves and he'd come out and play with the kids. He was very, very, hands-on. But, he gets the title of being the GOAT, not because of his incredible boxing skills, but what he did as a humanitarian and what he did for people overall. I want you to put this in your mind about skill. So you got to be very skillful to win a championship, be able to tell the government that you're not going to fight against people that never call me out of my name, and still come back and win that championship again after being incarcerated. See, he says champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have the skill and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill. See, skill is basically the ability to do something well and expertise, and applied will. And see, you have the willpower inside you to be successful. So I'm going to ask you when you're going to tap into it. What is it going to take for you to step outside of your comfort zone? See, a great man told me once, he said, if you want to go to different places, you got to get uncomfortable. Because see, a lot of us are in our comfortability. We have jobs making, 60, 70, 80,000, 100,000, $250,000, $1 million jobs. We think we've hit it because we hit that financial ceiling. But see, success isn't necessarily defined by money. Success is defined by you. What is your definition of success? And it's based on your skill in your area. And what's exciting about that, the more skillful you become, the bigger your bank account becomes. The more of a giver you become and being skillful at giving, being cheerful about it, the bigger your bank account grows. And see, you didn't meet here by accident. I am not a person that believes in coincidence. Everything is happening for a reason. It's happening at this time. I know many of you have jobs. I know many of you are entrepreneurs, but you took time out today to hear what I have to say because you're seeking something else, because you're looking for someone to support you. That's what I like to tell people. Let me be your support group. How many people have you supported and it seems like no one supports you? How many of you have been the backbone for a company for years, or for an individual for years, or for your spouse, or for your children, and it just seems as if nothing is there for you? See, we can build this together. Excellent. So, if you would, put in the chat an aha moment that you learned from this masterclass. See, I told you I wasn't going to keep you long. See, I'm straight and direct to the point. Put in the chat an aha moment, because, see, there's people that pay thousands of dollars for this information. And, see, it's free to you today. It's free to you today because I want you as my people. Because if you're on this call, you're definitely my people. Put in the chat an aha moment that you got from one of these 4 principles: discipline, consistency, applied knowledge, and skill. Because those are the first steps in achieving anything that you want and live on purpose. Oh, I like it. Power comes with the application. No matter how large or small, we all have something to give back. This is good stuff. Realizing I need to grow, working on myself and have good consistency. See, these are things that you need to take away. And these are things you can implement right now. You don't have to wait on anybody. Nobody has to tell you for that. Because, see, you're part of a greater kingdom. You are already royalty. All you got to do is walk in it. Believe it. Appreciate you guys. All right, so what's next? I told you earlier I was going to have a great offer at the end of this to really help you unlock, take this journey together. Let me be your support system and build it out to the next level. So what's next to offer? So the ingredients analysis, like I was telling you in the beginning, there's certain ingredients that go into your dish to make you a super dish. Dish preparation is what I call it. Everything is based on being a chef. We might not be cooking physical food, but we're cooking food that's going to nourish your bodies. First, you're going to get your ingredient study, or the DISC assessment. This study is going to unlock the core ingredients that make you who you are and recognize your super dish. All right. Next is a full assessment of that super dish, the DISC assessment again, to help you communicate effectively with others and how others view you and unlock your purpose. See, it's going to dive deep. It's about a 22-page study for you that's going to deep dive into who you are, how you function in others, and one of the most important keys is how others function with you. We've always learned that, do unto others as you do unto yourself, and you realize that it was the reverse. I heard a great sermon, this past Sunday where they were talking about that. What you do to yourself is what you project to others. So if you're mean to yourself, you're going to be mean to others. If you judge yourself incorrectly, you're going to judge others incorrectly. And so this assessment is going to help you dive into that purpose. Next, one of my favorite things, I know you can see that chef in the back, presentation is almost everything when it comes to food, right? You're going to get a 1-hour webinar that gives you the how-to for your ingredients, how to achieve mental balance, recommit, recharge, and reduce, achieving success in all areas, and being able to apply the 4 principles plus the ingredient study and the super disc assessment is going to be added on as an additional bonus. And just because you joined me here today, I'm going to add in a bonus 4-week group coaching session. Now, people pay $10,000s of dollars for this type of information. But you remember at the beginning, I told you I had a special offer for you. The analysis itself is $300. The disc assessment is $2,000 or more. Anybody who works at any companies know that the disc assessment, I'm not blowing smoke. It's not something I'm just making up. When they did these disc assessments with these big companies, they pay big dollars for it, right? So the total value of all 4 of these is almost $5,000. Now I'm not gonna charge you $5,000, but let me ask you, if this offer was worth $4,000 and I did charge you for it, if all I did was give you the ingredients you needed to succeed in your business, would it be worth it? Would that investment be worth it to add 10 times whatever you're currently making? If all I did was give you an assessment that helped you build confidence, find your purpose, potential, and get a raise in your career, would it be worth it? If all I did was help you better your relationship with your friends, your children, your family, your significant other, would it be worth it? I've taken courses like this, and yes, it was worth it. And I'm not going to charge you that. I'm not even going to charge you half of that. I'm not even going to charge you a third of that. I'm talking $1,900. But because you came here today, special price for you, $499. $499 to unlock your true potential, to really find who you really are, to have your purpose more defined. Now, I put the link in the chat for you to take a look at everything that you're going to get. But I want to ask yourself this. Will you invest in you? Do you want success nuggets to achieve anything? Do you want to live a life on purpose and be purpose driven? Did this free class today bring any value to you? If so, invest in you. It's in the chat. You can click the link. You can also send me an email. You all have my email address. If you want to talk a little bit more, get more information, send me a message in LinkedIn. But you have it right there in the chat. What's stopping you? Let me help you go to that next level of greatness. And last but not least, become the master chef of your life. One of my favorite quotes that I came up with. Perfection is the goal. Progress is the expectation. See, we're always going to be striving for perfection, but we know we're not going to get there. But you never stop going for it. And progress is the expectation. And if you are continuing to progress, you're going to be unstoppable. So I thank you for your time today. You guys have been exciting. Make sure you check the chat one more time, for that, for that link that's in there. If you want to take advantage of the recipe, achieve anything in life and live life on purpose. Make sure you follow me. I got a podcast that's out every Monday, The Recipe Menu Mondays with Chef Aundre. You can go to just about any platform that you listen to your podcast on, Spotify. This one is actually on Intentional Talk Radio Network Radio. It's ITRN Radio.com. If you want to check it out there, but anywhere you watch podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, etc., etc. It's called The Recipe Menu Mondays with Chef Aundre. Also follow us at Beat Gang Coaching at Blasingame J69. That's my personal page. You'll see more of the chef food stuff. And then the Beat Game, you'll see more of the inspirational and all the information. My website and also my YouTube page. I have a lot of free content that's on the YouTube page for you to do it. But I see that Many of you still stayed on. Take advantage of the discount. Let's do this thing and be incredible together. God bless you. You have an incredible day because you are incredible. And I look forward to talking with you later. Have a fantastic day, good people.